everyone, it's Marissa and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am recreating the famous fried apples that you get when you go to Crackel Barrel, which I love going to that place, especially around this time of year. They always have the cutest seasonal decor that you can pick up in their shop, which, if you didn't know, is like my true shopping guilty pleasure. But anyways, so we are going to be recreating these apples today in this video, and I'm going to make them a little bit healthier and sweeten them naturally. So there is no white sugar in this recipe. Instead, we are going to be using honey. You could also use maple syrup. That would work really well in this recipe too. I like to use the honey or the maple syrup instead of the white sugar in this recipe because they have more nutrients than the regular white sugar does. So for example, the maple syrup here is a great source of minerals such as manganese and zinc, and the honey here is a great source of antioxidants, which can help protect our bodies against free radicals. Plus, in my opinion, I think that these two just taste a lot better than the regular white sugar, and they work beautifully in pretty much all recipes. Okay, so what you're gonna need in order to make today's recipe is, of course, apples, right? So I have 4 apples here. These are gala apples. You can just go ahead and pick out whichever ones are your favorites or whichever ones are in season. We're gonna go ahead and leave the peel on, which is awesome because it saves us a step and it also provides some fiber to this dish. Next, you're gonna need 1/4 cup of honey, the juice from a small lemon, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, a pinch of salt, a tablespoon of butter, 1 teaspoon of cornstarch, and 2 teaspoons of water. So that's what you're gonna need. So let's go ahead and start cooking.
So first things first, we need to core our apples. So what you see there is an apple core, which I actually don't even remember where I got this thing. I've had it for so many years, and I think that they're fairly inexpensive, and I'm sure you can get it off of Amazon. But if you do not want to go ahead and grab that, then you can just use your knife to slice around the core of the apple. And if you see any seeds or anything, just make sure that you remove them. Then you can go ahead and start slicing your apples however thick or thin you'd like. I like mine on the thicker side, so I cut mine in about 1 to 2 inch sized pieces. Once you are done slicing all of your apples, you can go ahead and add them into a medium-sized mixing bowl. Now you can go ahead and add in the juice from your lemon. Now a little trick here that I like to do is actually roll the lemon on a cutting board before I slice into it because it helps release some of the juices inside and it makes it a lot easier to juice it once I've sliced into it. Now, I love using this lemon squeezer. I did not think that I was going to use it as much as I actually do, so I'm really happy that I bought it. But it's really helpful to make sure that no seeds go into whatever it is that I'm cooking or baking with the lemon juice. But if you do not have it, then just make sure not to add in any of the seeds from the lemon. Next, you can start adding in your spices. So you have your cinnamon, your ground nutmeg, and your salt. And now we can add in the honey. Now, a little trick that I like to do when it comes to honey, especially when I have to measure it, is that it is so hard to get the honey out of the liquid measuring cup. So what I like to do is just line it with a little bit of oil, so either coconut oil or the avocado oil, and then I can go ahead and measure it, and it is so much easier to, one, remove the honey into my mixing bowl, and also to clean the liquid measuring cup afterwards. Then go ahead and just drizzle that on all over the apples and spices and lemon juice. And in my opinion, this is my favorite part of the recipe, is just watching that honey drizzle all over those apples. And then grab a spatula or like a wooden spoon and then just give them a good mix to make sure that they are all evenly combined. And then when you are done mixing them, you can head over to your stove. And then in a medium-sized frying pan, I am melting a tablespoon of some grass-fed butter. Now, if you don't want to use butter, then you can use something like avocado oil or coconut oil. That would work really well too. Then go ahead and add in all of your apples and that beautiful honey and lemon juice glaze. And then using your spatula, you can go ahead and just kind of give them a little stir just to make sure that they all cook evenly in the frying pan. And when you're done, you can go ahead and put a lid on top of the frying pan to help the apples steam and cook. And then when it comes to a boil, this is what they will look like, which just looks so delicious right now as I'm editing this video. And then you can go ahead and reduce the flame so that they can simmer the remaining of the cooking time. And also make sure to put the lid back on the apples because it really helps them steam and cook. And then every few minutes, come back and give them a good stir just to make sure that none of the apples are sticking to the bottom of the frying pan. Now, I cooked my apples for about 10 to 15 minutes, so they don't really take a very long time to cook. So about 5 to 7 minutes in, I would test them and see if they are fork tender. Once they are starting to get more fork tender, we can go ahead and start thickening that honey and lemon juice glaze that you see in the frying pan. And we're gonna do that with a little bit of cornstarch and some water. So go ahead and mix those two together in a small bowl. Then you can go ahead and pour it into the frying pan, give it a good stir, and allow it to cook for like 30 seconds more so that the honey and lemon juice glaze can thicken. And when your apples are done, they will look like this. The glaze is nice and thickened, and the apples are beautifully fork tender. Go ahead and transfer them to a small bowl so that they can cool for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then you can go ahead and serve them as a side dish to your dinner or even on top of pancakes or French toast. So go ahead and eat and enjoy.
Alrighty, you guys, so I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, then please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.